Coming up, Sealaska Heritage Institute erects 2 huge art installation projects honoring the native communities of Alaska. Plus, a Lakota surgeon wants to climb Mount Everest. Road closure and sovereignty for Lac du Flambeau. Plus, Super Bowl analysis with John Tahsuda. I'm Mark Trahant. Join us for those interviews, plus the headlines from the ICT Newscast.
This program is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.
Arizona State University welcomes 3,500 Indigenous students from Arizona and across the nation. It serves one of the largest populations of Indigenous students among U.S. colleges and universities. We created a sense of place for tribal nations to create futures of their own making through community outreach and research, taught by world-class Indigenous faculty where they see a reflection of themselves and their experiences. Find community at ASU.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us. We start in Washington, D.C., where the Department of Interior has announced that a Native woman is joining the agency. Lynn Trujillo, New Mexico's last Indian Affairs Secretary, has received a new appointment with the Biden administration. The Sandia Pueblo citizen joins the agency at a time when it is focused on honoring nation-to-nation relationships with tribes. Trujillo has worked nationally with tribal nations and organizations as the Native American coordinator for the USDA Rural Development Programs. And her past experiences also include organizing in tribal communities and practicing Indian law in Washington, D.C. and New Mexico. Other initiatives during Trujillo's tenure include increasing school district funding on federal trust lands. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced that San Ildefonso Pueblo citizen James Mountain will succeed Trujillo. This year's Super Bowl featured merchandise designed by Indigenous artists. They reimagined the NFL logo in new Native ways. ICT's Pacey Smith-Garcia headed to the merch launch to learn more.
This year's AFL Origins collection features 2 Indigenous artists who are able to reimagine designs and bring in Indigenous elements. The collection brings in local artists from the city that is hosting the Super Bowl to represent the area and its history. Artists like Denesis and Jared Yazoo were approached last summer to begin working on these designs.
Yeah, we had contact last summer. Really got excited once I heard a lot of ideas stirring around in my head. And then, design work happened all winter. And then we were rolling out a lot of product just this early this year. So it's been half a year of work and busyness. And we've learned a lot dealing with a company this big.
They want to represent their heritage and the impacts it has on the city.
The game, the stadium, all the people that are coming here, they're visiting native land. I wanted people to recognize that this is someone's homeland, that Phoenix is built, on the backs and ingenuity of native people, and that the systems that were built here years and years ago is why this city exists. So it's just a reminder that, have respect for people's homelands that you come visiting.
The designs go beyond just t-shirts for artists like Croesus and Elias Not Afraid. His collection includes things like posters.
What I did was wanted to use ledger, like a ledger art as the main design for it. I have a poster, which is just a blown up image of the original ledger design that I used from an antique ledger book, dated 1888 or something. And so I just kind of wanted to keep, our tribe. Well, I'm originally Crow from Montana and moved down to Arizona. And we used to keep track of our stories using ledger paper. And when they got rid of the buffalo back in the 1800s, our tribe used to document events and stories and everything on buffalo hide. So when they got rid of that, the only thing for us to use was the ledger paper. So I thought it was cool to just, pay homage to that.
The artists were also aware that Kansas City's team had made the Super Bowl with a racist mascot, but they hope collaborations will help combat this.
We don't stand by at least the name. We would prefer a different mascot change. We do feel that it's degrading towards Native people, that it affects the youth of Native America, and it was tough to see that they made it. You know, with this project happening, months of planning for it to happen like that, it was difficult. And so yeah, we're having a lot of those conversations now, and yeah, we can only hope that these kind of collaborations, that their fan base is going to be introduced to an Indigenous designer, another Indigenous designer, a Chicana designer, like all these brown artists and brown voices that are loud and that are beautiful, can showcase some kind of change, overall. Hopefully that's the goal.
The artists hoped that sports would begin to feature more Native artists. In Phoenix, Arizona, Jesus Smith-Garcia, ICT News.
And those are the headlines for the ICT Newscast. The Sealaska Heritage Institute has set dates for two major projects that will honor Native communities of Alaska. The projects have been years in the making and will include work by Indigenous artists from across the state. One of the projects is a totem pole trail that will have 30 totems, and the other is called Faces of Alaska, featuring bronze masks to represent Alaska's 5 major Native groups. A ceremony to celebrate the installations is scheduled for April 22nd at Heritage Plaza by the Sealaska Heritage Campus. Here to talk about these incredible projects is Sealaska Heritage Media Director, Ricardo Whirl. Hi, Ricardo.
Good morning. Yake Yaksatini. It's good to see you. Cheesh.
So this is really an incredible project, and at the ceremony, 11 of the 30 totems will be shown. Can you tell us how this project came to be and what the project was to get to this point?
Sure. The Kutia Dei, or Totem Trail project, was part of a 3-phase effort by Sealaska Heritage Institute to make Juneau, Alaska, the Northwest Coast arts capital of the world. And the first was construction of the Walter Soboleff building in 2016. And then we created our arts campus. We completed that in 2021. And now we're into our third phase, which is the Totem Trail. And we got funding for 10 of the totem poles out of the 30 that we hope to complete, and they'll be raised along the 2-mile stretch of waterfront in downtown Juneau.
What's the historical context for the location of these totem pole trail?
Yeah, this is pretty significant. The Tlingit people have occupied this portion of Southeast Alaska for more than 10,000 years, and beginning in the late 1800s, Western explorers had discovered gold. There was also harvesting of timber and salmon, and so during that time, the local tribes were displaced from their hunting grounds, from their communities, their summer camps, which was all of downtown Juneau. So having the totem poles, replaced in Alaska's capital city, 30 of them along the waterfront, is sort of healing, but it's also reestablishing and symbolic of our presence, in our ancestral lands. It'll also serve as an educational opportunity for local people and the over 1 million visitors that come to Alaska each summer.
Let's shift to the Faces of Alaska installation, which features 4-foot-tall bronze masks. How did this idea come, and what's the significance of the masks?
Sure. Alaska is a large state, the largest state, and we have five major tribal or indigenous groups. There's the Inuit, the Yupik, the Athabaskan, Koniag, and then the three tribes in Southeast Alaska. And here in Juneau, we have over 1 million visitors coming each year. And a lot of them are, getting off cruise ships in Southeast Alaska. And so they're only exposed to, the tribes here in Southeast Alaska. We wanted to make this opportunity to introduce our visitors to the other major groups, indigenous groups in Alaska. And so we're going to have one mask carved by, an artist from each of the regions. They will be set up here on the Sealaska Heritage Arts Campus, and we'll have informational plaques to introduce people to get a sense of yes, Southeast is beautiful, and our Tlingit people are here, but guess what? There's 4 other major groups spread out throughout Alaska that would be good for you to learn about.
This is great. Can you tell us more about the artists for each project and perhaps give us a behind the scenes picture into what it takes to get pieces like this made?
Yeah, so carving totem poles is a pretty rare and unique art form. And as we began the search for master artists that could carve these 20-foot totem poles, our artist committee, made of several master artists themselves, set some criteria. And the main thing was they had to have carved at least 5 totem poles in their lifetime, for to be selected for this project. And we identified 9 artists. Unfortunately, one of the artists, wasn't able to. He already had a project going, so we selected, 8 artists, and they're working in 7 different communities throughout Southeast Alaska, which is the size, it's roughly the area of the state of Pennsylvania. And the communities they're working in are, very small, remote villages, probably less than 1,500, 1,500 people each. And in addition to the master artist, part of the program, we wanted to ensure that we're able to grow this unique art form. And so one of the requirements is that they also select at least 2 apprentices to help in the carving and also get the chance to learn about carving totem poles. So we hope to grow, the number of carvers significantly at the completion of this project.
Sealaska Heritage Media Director Ricardo Worrell, thank you for joining us.
Geez.
A Lakota surgeon from Cheyenne River in South Dakota has plans to be the first Native American to summit Mount Everest. Jacob Weasel already has successfully climbed notable peaks from Mount Rainier to Kilimanjaro. He's here to tell us now about his plans for his next big adventure. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to join you.
So what inspired you to climb mountains and at such an extraordinary level?
Yeah, going through my medical training, never really had time to focus on any of those aspects. When you have a family and, I have a wife and 3 kids and going through undergrad and medical school and residency, that's 13 years of my life that was pretty much devoted to my studies. But I remember having a discussion with one of my professors who became a close friend in undergrad, and he had tried to summit Mount Rainier during our summer break. And I came back from the break and he told me all about it, and it really piqued my interest. So that was always kind of in the back of my mind as I went through my training. And then after completing my residency in surgery, surgery and establishing myself in my practice, it freed up some time for me to explore some of these other passions, and went out to Mount Rainier in Washington, was successful on that climb, really just fell in love with the mountains. And one thing led to another from there, and was able to go down to Ecuador and climb peaks, and then Kilimanjaro. And never really would have anticipated that Everest would have been on my list. And that's kind of another story in itself that led to my desire to be the first Lakota to climb Mount Everest.
This is fascinating. Can you tell us what goes through in terms of both preparation and just some of the experiences that you have to prepare for in mountain climbing?
Yeah, I think that you can only prepare up to a certain point. But the thing that I love about mountaineering is whether it be an expedition that lasts several days or weeks, or in this instance, several months, it ends up becoming kind of a microcosm of life, included with all the challenges and kind of the joys and the ups and the downs that we experience. And so whether it's the relationships that you develop or the meals that you share with people that you develop this bond with, and the struggles that you encounter and experiencing challenge after challenge, or whether it's, sharing the joy of triumph, or kind of the sorrow of defeat, those are all things that you share on a mountain with people that you come to develop a close relationship with. And it really serves as kind of a microcosm of what life is kind of about. But as far as preparing, it's very, it's not dramatic. And I have people ask me this question all the time as far as what it is that you do to prepare for something like this. And I really just want to take a video of me on a stair stepper at the gym, taking one step after another, because that's all that it is. And it's nothing glamorous. There's nothing sexy or fabulous about it. It's just a lot of work. But again, that's one of the things that I love about it, because going through my medical training, I felt the same way. And no matter how hard it feels or how badly you want to give up, just taking it one step at a time. And I was on Denali. We spent 18 days on the ice, going from camp to camp, not taking a shower that entire time. And I remember taking a video of my feet just one step after another trudging along, and wanting to post that as a video of, this is, the glamour of mountaineering, and it's simply one step at a time. But I think that relates, not just to mountaineering, but to life in general, that persistence and perseverance goes a long way in achieving what our goals are.
That one step of a time, it's really important as a lesson for young people. And whether it's 13 years to prepare to be a surgeon or a few months to prepare for mountain climbing, how do you talk to young people about the importance of goals and then reaching those goals?
Yeah, I think the first thing, whenever I talk to young people and they're kind of going through a part in life where they're trying to figure out what it is that their calling is and what it is that they should do with their life. And I always tell people, we're born with passions and abilities. And some people are very passionate about things that they have no talent for. There's plenty of people that enjoy watching football but can't throw a spiral. And then there are people that have talents, but no passion for those things. But, I tell my children the same thing that I tell my students: where your passions and your abilities intersect, that I think is a good starting point to figuring out why it is that you've been put on this earth. And then making realistic, achievable goals. And that's something that I've carried with me, through my education. And then even now with my nonprofit, is you start off with small wins. And, if I could have seen as a young man all of the things that I would have to go through to get to where I am now, there's a good chance that I probably would have backed out. And knowing the challenges that you face could probably dissuade you from pursuing big dreams, but just taking it one step at a time. And what I tell them is, nobody goes from A to Z, but everybody can go from A to B. And so figuring out what the next step is in your process, and the next step for you in life, that's the big thing. And building on small successes eventually leads to larger success. So, it's the same with mountaineering. Nobody goes from the couch to climbing Mount Everest overnight. And so going out to Mount Rainier, learning skills that would be useful I figured moving on, so whether that be ice, self-arrest with an ice axe, or how to use crampons, or how to climb as a team, those are all things that you build upon. And the more experience you get, the more comfortable you feel, and the bigger challenges you can tackle. But taking it one step at a time and having achievable goals is kind of the key in mountaineering as in life.
Well, this is exciting. Thank you so much for joining us, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you again for having me.
The roads are closed on the Lac du Flambeau tribal lands. 4 roadblocks were set up on January 31st, stranding non-native residents of some 65 households. John Tahsuda gives us the background on this stand for sovereignty. A Kiowa citizen, he's the principal with Global Navigators. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me again. Always fun to talk with you.
It sounds like this action has been brewing for quite some time over right-of-ways that the tribe says were never approved by non-Indian developers. Is there any kind of resolution in sight?
Well, I don't know that they are close to a resolution there, but there's always a resolution at hand. So it just depends on the willingness of folks to come to a meeting of the minds. I do want to say, these are complicated issues, and oftentimes, as my understanding is, at Lac du Flambeau, it was a reservation that was allotted. And each of these allotment processes, each reservation actually happens a little differently. Almost none of them, no two are the same. And so the set aside of parcels and then the set aside for roads, et cetera, happen differently in some reservations. Some of them, and maybe this is what happened at Lac du Flambeau, did not have any set aside for roads, and that came later. It sort of sounds to me like what happened here. And sometimes in a rush to get development in, to sell houses, et cetera, developers, non-Indian developers, will kind of skip over the process a little bit, or maybe they're not aware of the challenges, and they often think the rights that exist in state law for property, the right to access property, et cetera, they think will apply, but that that doesn't carry over into federal law, and we know that's what applies on Indian lands.
I'm struck by how, in this particular case, a title company is as involved as the governments. How does that surface?
So I want to speculate a little bit here, but so this obviously were homes and roads that were set up by a private developer, and the title company. If you've ever bought a house, you buy title insurance because they guarantee your ownership of the property. And if there's any question to that, and it turns out that there was something wrong there that the title company and its title lawyers did not catch, then the title company is on the hook to pay for your expenses or to whatever it takes to right the wrong. And so, I mean, they're an insurance company in that way. I'm going to guess, part of that process is this notion of access to the property. So I'm guessing that when these non-Indian individuals bought their parcels, the property insurance that came not only looked at the ownership of the property and made sure that was correct, but the other access rights, et cetera, that they would need to get to these property. Those are usually attachments to the property itself. So it's a property right that goes with the property. Usually, the title insurance company probably insured that as well, or that was part of their policy for these individuals. So the title insurance company probably is the one that will ultimately be on the hook if there's some type of a dollar amount of settlement. And that's probably why they are involved in this, is both the state, the town, the tribe. Everybody is looking to them to ultimately be the piggy bank that will kind of settle this and pay for the damages that any of the sides have in this. I just wanted to add too. There's obviously a very important role that the federal government can play, and I was happy to see, and you noted earlier, Mr. Trujillo being appointed as counselor to the secretary. I served in that role as well a few years ago, and this is a great opportunity for somebody with her skills. The counselor to the secretary, provides direct advice works hand in hand directly with the secretary. And so having somebody with an Indian law background like that can provide a great opportunity for the secretary to step in. And I say that because at the end of the day, the allotment process, the management, the trust management of the properties, these are all interior responsibilities through the BIA. And I think that the department probably should be playing a really big role in trying to resolve this because the tribe itself is trying to resolve this with the town and the state. And really, interior should be entering in on the side of the tribe because of its trust responsibilities to try to help resolve this.
We only have a little bit of time, John, but I want to ask you about the Super Bowl really fast and kind of your big takeaway from that.
It was great to see the native artists. It was great to see the tribe so involved. And I'll say this, for years now, a number of the Arizona tribes very smartly have been very involved with the Super Bowls that have happened there. The last time there's been 3, I believe, now there. And they took the opportunity when the first one came to try to get themselves involved. Very smart economically, very smart politically. As you know, those are big events. They have a big economic impact. And so the tribes really have carved themselves out this space then on both sort of economic front and the political front for themselves. And I think it's a great opportunity that they have seized on very smartly. And it's great to see. I hope in other states, as the Super Bowl moves around, and if there are tribes in that state, that they're similarly able to get in there. I think the Arizona tribes have really broken the ice on this, and hopefully there will be a big role for tribes to play in years to come.
As always, thank you for joining us, John.
Thank you.
And that's a slice of our Indigenous world. For all the latest, visit ictnews.org. From all of us in the newsroom, stay safe, my relatives.
This program is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.